Good morning. So thank you for coming. Thank you for making it here on a Wednesday morning. In Barcelona, 10 o'clock is pretty early, so I'm glad you guys are here. Since this is an incredibly large room, I think it might be worthwhile if we get a little bit cozier. So come up if you want to do this together, because this is we'll go through this presentation, and I only have 100 slides, so trust me, we'll get through this pretty quickly. And I'm the marketing guy. I lead marketing for RingCentral. We'll talk about an industry-defining moment which is going on right now, and something which we are driving with our partners, with our partner Avaya. They're here in the room. We'll have a conversation, but I want to keep this conversational. If you have questions at the end, or even during the middle, feel free to ask. But before I get started, I wanted to show you guys some spectacular work which my marketing team put together. This is the best slide on the deck. I promise you that. It is our legal team which drives this content, but a lot of the stuff which we're talking about is forward-looking, and between I'm speaking for myself and Ahmed, who's going to come up later. We're in the process of firming up our strategic plans together, both RingCentral and Avaya. So bear that in mind. But I thought I'll start talking about this session by talking about trees and forests. And that's not because I live in San Francisco and I'm a tree hugger. It's because it's a very relevant topic. A quick show of hands. How many of you have even heard of Suzanne? You don't count, you're RingCentral. And the reason I bring this up, she's being considered for a Nobel Prize, and her title of this. There's a great TED Talk, and I encourage you guys to go listen to this. She talks about collaboration, and the last thing you would expect when you read that abstract and watch that video is trees and forests, and she talks about the fact that trees communicate and collaborate very effectively. And I was very intrigued when I first started reading this. And what she talks about is that they share a lot of vital information across their complex root systems, right? They share information about sunlight, they share information about water sources, and what she talks about is that when there is a natural disaster, if you see a tree leaning a certain way or growing in a certain direction, you'll see trees around it doing the same thing. And if you see one tree which grows and towers over other trees, that tree shares a lot of nutrients across their root system and collaborates and communicates with other trees. And that's what makes a forest resilient. So why am I talking about this, especially here at this Gartner event? I mean, this is definitely not a Nat Geo docu-series, right? So it's because businesses are no different, right? Your ability to communicate and collaborate is effectively what drives survival and then effectively makes a business thrive, right? And more often than not, most of you in the room, you do it over vast distances. And how effectively you do it effectively determines how well you do in the market and how well you do for your customers, right? So, and it is more important now than it has ever been, right? I mean, the way we communicate fundamentally has changed, right? Work is not a place. Like, we don't like get up in the morning and think about, oh, I have to go to this specific place to work. For me, my work starts when I wake up in the morning and I check my social posts and I see a note from my CEO saying, hey, we've got to do this and do that. And I could be at a cafe, I could be anywhere else, right? So the way we communicate has completely changed. I'll tell you a little story. This is my 5-year-old. When he's hungry, takes his mom's phone and sends me a pizza emoji. That's how he communicates with me. So this is how we communicate in our personal lives is almost changing how we communicate in our work lives, in our professional lives. Because when we come into work, we're no longer just tethered to a desk where we've got to look at a device, open up a manual, and go to page 54, chapter 2, and figure out how to just make a call. It's more than that. Our entire modes of communication, the way we talk, the way we communicate, is completely different today than it was 5 years ago, right? And so that ability, and you'll see, it's really interesting to see if you walk through the expo floor, you'll see a lot of this, these common threads where people are talking about working from anywhere, using any device. All of these things are now coming together, and it's not just me, talking about it, not just RingCentral. It's the world around us. And the way we, communicate impacts the way we serve our customers. Right? Our customers are no longer just calling us. They are, they are using social channels. I'll tell you an interesting story. This was a month ago, or maybe slightly longer. I was rage tweeting because I had missed one of my flights, and I was rage tweeting at my favorite airline, United Airlines. For those of you who've traveled on United, God bless you. And after I was done rage tweeting, I picked up the phone, called United. The agent who answered my call knew about my problems because she had been able to map the identity of who the person who was calling with the person who was kind of using social to talk about United. And so that's pretty awesome that companies are starting to do that, because we expect to communicate as customers with businesses using many, many different channels. John Finch, who's here in the room, talked about this in his session earlier in the week. And he talked about the fact that it's not just one medium anymore. And when people talk about omni-channel, it's not chat and email anymore. It's WhatsApp. Like, I checked into my hotel room, there was a WhatsApp number at the desk where if I wanted room service to anything else, I could just use WhatsApp and that number. And that's pretty incredible. Like the way you talk to your vendors is completely different than it was, again, about 5 years ago. So for all of you folks leading IT, how many of you in the room are, quick show of hands, how many of you are CIOs or leading IT organizations in the room? Okay, so a good majority, right? Would you agree with the statement? That the playbook is completely being rewritten. It's not the same anymore where it's not just about you looking at software and hardware and being the broker for the business. It's much more than that. I heard this really interesting comment while I was here attending some of the sessions, where they were talking about the CIO. The term CIO is going to be changed. It's going to evolve into what is going to be called the Chief Experience Officer. Because the CIOs are going to be as responsible for culture as HR, because not only are you looking at how to drive productivity and better customer service for the customers, you're going to impact a lot of the top line, so revenue generating opportunities, right? So this, you know, all you folks in the room must adapt and adapt quickly. And what we are starting to now realize that this statement, which we've been talking about cloud for some time now. Cloud is not new. It's now a real first-class citizen. The scales have tipped, right? So, you know, cloud is no longer a second-class citizen or one of the options. More often than not, everybody has a cloud strategy. How many of you in the room have a cloud strategy in terms of your tech stack? Okay. That's very encouraging. So, and we'll talk about that, you know, because this is where this partnership will take us to the next level, right? The scales we feel have tipped, and everybody's looking at how to innovate and how to innovate quickly. So this is again an interesting kind of quote from Gartner, again coming out of this conference and some of the ones which have happened right before it, where people are talking about the fact that 90%, right, 90% will not buy premise-based software. And that's not to say that it's a mass complete move to cloud. There are multiple flavors of cloud which people are looking at, and all of it is being driven by the need for agility, the need to innovate quicker, right? And cloud gives you that scale, that infinite scale. So this is where, you know, we feel that RingCentral, partnering with Avaya, one of the giants in the space, one of the giants in the UC space, you know, gives our customers the best choices, and in doing so, you know, provides the best outcomes, because we believe, and it's not just RingCentral plus Avaya, we believe that we need to meet our customers where they are. And you'll hear some of this from Ahmed as well, but this is where we are coming together to drive that next big cloud migration. How many of you in the room have heard of RingCentral or have dabbled with RingCentral? Okay? So let me take the opportunity. It seems like literally less than a third of the room. So let me take the opportunity to give you guys a quick flavor of RingCentral, who we are, what we do. You can learn more about us at our stand, at our booth. But we've been in this space for quite some time. We are a pure play cloud vendor. We've always been that. We don't know how to do anything else. And from the time we started, for us, it was about providing best-of-breed communication stack across any device, any mode, anywhere. And it didn't matter what, you know, where you were at, what device you were using. We wanted to provide that seamless experience. So we were one of the first to kind of bring in, at least on the cloud side, to bring in messaging, calling, and meeting together, because we didn't think that those three were completely separate. Most people thought about the communication stack in the early days as just call, and there was a lot of rich capabilities with the PBXs there. We were one of the first to kind of move that to the cloud, and then we brought in the entire ecosystem along with it. You know, and I just talked about this, where we felt that, you know, cloud was the only way for us to kind of drive that scale, where we were able to provide that consistent service across geographies, across regions. We play in 41 countries. I'll talk about this in a little bit. But we wanted to provide that same level of consistency in every communication endpoint which we were kind of bringing to market. So that's what we did. And when we started out, we were primarily on the right-hand side of this slide, which was we started out well. We were one of the first cloud PBXs. We brought in embedded video meetings pretty quickly, because we felt that, you know, people who wanted to call over IP wanted to use meetings to kind of drive business outcomes. And then we realized that we acquired a company called Glip, where we brought the team messaging portions, because we realized that meetings themselves were pretty transactional. A lot of the meetings actually start long before a meeting starts. It starts with a conversation. And guess where that conversation starts? It starts on chat, on text. So we brought team messaging together. And as we kind of evolved, the other side of this slide kind of came into being, where we are starting to build out a full contact center stack and a customer engagement solution. But the point of this slide is not that there's two sides to a circle. The point of this slide is that it's about a complete solution and a platform and a path, because customers don't implement this like in a circular fashion. We've seen that people would buy a PBX solution, a video meeting solution, then do inbound contact center, digital customer service, and then bring the entire thing back. Right? So it's about meeting our customers where they are, and that's why you'll see the kind of this atom slide. The guy who created this slide is a fan of Big Bang Theory, but we'll leave that aside. It's all about that path. And these are numbers which were announced on Monday, because we just did earnings. So we're growing pretty steadily at about 31%. We're almost $1 billion company, and we're looking forward to the next. I don't know why that slide is like that, but it just the intent is to show kind of global scale. I won't dwell on this, and we are one of the leaders in the UCaaS space. So I wanted to, before I hand it over to my esteemed colleague here, I just wanted to kind of point this out. So a lot of our, a lot of our growth initially has been in North America, but we have had some substantial growth in this part of the world in the last 4 or 5 years. Case in point is John Lewis, Waitrose. I'm assuming most of you have heard of them. They just did a pretty substantial deal. Niall, who's here somewhere in the room, drove this from a RingCentral perspective. It's a pretty interesting implementation where they're using some of their devices to communicate in store, both amongst themselves and with their customers. And they're doing it very efficiently, not just waiting on calling, but messaging and checking inventory using messaging, et cetera, et cetera. And with that, I would like to welcome Ahmed. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a hand. He's going to talk about the Avaya side of it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. So excited to be here today, and definitely very exciting news with RingCentral. I'm the CTO for Avaya International. I live in Dubai, and in Dubai we have a very interesting ministry. It's called the Ministry of Happiness. And being one of the leaders in communication for many countries, but specifically the Middle East, and on top of them UAE, we were very lucky to be part of the strategic government transformation over years. And working with such governments, you could see that to promote happiness and focus on transforming your customers, to help them evolve, not only sell them something new technology or try to get them on the next release, but really help put the technology where it really matters and really help, I would say, innovate, modernize, and develop their business when they come and shake hands with you and tell you that your technology has been very important for the success of their business. This is where really we make a value. And 1 year ago, if you go back, play back some of the recordings from our sessions and events, there has been always a focus in Avaya to become a multi-cloud company. We have customers that are going through different transformations. Some of them still going through a private cloud strategy, others adopting hybrid models, others going pure public. And I think after 1 year today, with the partnership with Ring and the work we have done with them and the work that's still to come, we have completed this vision and execution to be able to give our customer the right choice to go to the next step of innovation and moving forward to use the right communication system that sit in the core of their CX transformation or communication transformation. If you look at our strategy that has been going on for some time, to be a cloud-first company is a focus on addressing the customer requirements through a cloud offers. If you look in the last previous sessions from different analysts in Gartner's and others, there has been a very focused discussion about multi-cloud and mesh architectures. That customers who are adopting a dedicated private cloud where they have large, massive business and they can afford having a dedicated instance for their technology, but also those who want to do the same but inject innovation from the hybrid clouds and public clouds, and those who are moving purely toward a public cloud in a few years. So we have been focusing on whatever we do in the next couple of years, we address all these market segments. If you look at the UCaaS part specifically, you will see that it has been something that we have been trying in Avaya to promote, not as a motion just on a cloud consumption, but as a core on which we can build on top more innovations. We have presented our collaboration solutions like Avaya Spaces. We have presented the Avaya CCaaS yesterday, which is coming next year, and many other solutions that will come in the future. So having a real strong CCaaS platform in the cloud on which we can also plug in and integrate more of our value-added services was so key for us to have it as an option to deliver to our customers who wants to go to a pure cloud architecture. And when we work on this kind of strategy, we need to make sure that the partnership and the solution that we are picking follows the same Avaya strategic concepts, which is reliability, scalability, feature-rich platforms, and so on. And hence, we move forward with what we're doing. The most important part, if you look what we are covering in the market today with the completion of the RingCentral partnership, for those customers that going private, we still focus on developing our core applications. Everything we build for our, as you can see in the last, I think, 2 months, we have released and we have announced the Avaya Ready Now solutions, which are built for customers looking for private cloud architectures, either being hosted locally on-premise or hosted off-site on any of the big cloud vendors like Google, Azure, and AWS. Also, in parallel, we will be able, with the offers with Ring, to be able to have a hybrid kind of offers where we can go to our customers at any scale and we can offer them to expand their communication platform through a cloud communication with Ring. So you will see us going to customers that wants to fully move to a cloud. We will go to customers that have Avaya on-premise, but they want to expand their remote locations. They want to add new business units. They want, maybe as a result of acquisitions or merge, they want just to unify the communication platform, and they want to avoid extra on-premise investment. They want to have the expansion on the cloud. And most interesting for us also, we are getting more, I would say, eager to get a bigger market share. So the Avaya ACO offer will allow us to go to our customers and even new customers. And we have been in many customers, like you will see statistics, we have 100 million plus UC seat and 5+ million CC seats. And in many of these accounts, specifically large enterprise accounts, you can see Avaya sitting there next to many other vendors who have multiple telephony systems, and they have been talking to us over the years. How can we unify the whole platform with a single vendor? Why Avaya cannot give me a cloud offer where I, instead of trying to expand on the enterprise and spend more money on CapEx, can I get an offer from Avaya to expand and unify my communication platforms to be able to eliminate this multi-vendor architecture and be able to integrate it with the cloud and also maintain my enterprise and have them interconnected, the mesh architecture. So all these opportunities we will be targeting in the next couple of years to make sure that with this partnership we have more than one option where we can really win with the cloud. If you look at primarily, I think it was mentioned, the example from Gartner's and others, the motion toward more of UC on the cloud. I just want to mention that when customers think about moving to the cloud, specifically with collaboration and UC, we have been taking the journey in consideration, where we actually looked at, if you have today an Avaya customer, if they are using Avaya devices, they are used to the rich features that we have today, we're going to maintain the same. Devices from Avaya to be supported and to be integrated into Ring. The features, we have a co-developments, we work together, we add the features, we even add more capabilities than what they have and deliver this to our customers, and so on. So it's not just the motion to the cloud, it's maintaining the capabilities, the features, the integrity and the commitment to deliver the business value to our customers as we are committed to them. How the relation will look like, how we're going to be dealing with our customers is simply Avaya will be interacting with our customers, dealing with them directly, selling the solution, offering the ACO on Avaya devices, working with our customers on roadmap, features, integration options that they require. Also in the future, more strategic integrations to come on ACO. We have limitless opportunities to add collaboration capabilities, CCaaS, and many, many more to come. So as we move forward, Ring is going to help us with providing the ACO technology, manage it for us, help us with the development, get it on track, and we will be selling it, working with our customers and our partners very closely to position it where it really matters for our customers. So it's not really, there is no disconnection. We're working as one team with our partners, with the customers to make sure that we give them the options, we give them the plans, the transitions, the richness of the features and capabilities that they need, and just deliver in the next few months what's really expected to expand their communications toward a cloud. Again, opportunity, as I said, there will be some statistics, but just to give you some insights and details. Today, when we go to customers and we work with them, when you have such a massive installed base like Avaya, our legacy is really our asset, because these customers, as they go with us through this transformation and a multi-cloud model from Avaya, they really see us not trying to push them to one strategy. They see us flexible, offering multiple options for them, having reachability in multiple countries. We work closely with our customers. We meet them, we talk to them, we build with them their transformation and transition plans, and all these kind of capabilities that comes with the Avaya size and Avaya scale is very important to drive the success of ACO and our other strategic cloud solutions. And from there, you can see the opportunity of such partnership where we actually close the loop of giving the customers every option for them to transform their communication strategy. They can no longer question or ask, oh, Avaya maybe doesn't have this offer, or you don't have this solution. We are actually today completing our multi-cloud, as I said, opportunity and offers and solutions and strategy for our customers to be able to choose the right path toward the right communication strategy that they select. And I think, as a summary, again, we are excited. I think the size of two companies and the reliable technology and the same approach and strategic directions that we have are very critical to make this successful. Transformation, for sure, is driving everything around us, cloud, whatever the model is, private, public, or hybrid, is going to be a key player in our customers' transformation. And I think through this partnership and working with Ring, we will definitely be able to position the right solution. And the most important part is we will do that in a very seamless and very, I would say, strategic way that we make sure there is minimum disruption. Actually, there will be better of both worlds coming to our customers as we work together. So here, I think, Amrit, I can hand this back to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. So I wanted to reiterate a couple of things here. One, if you look at what was announced from a partnership perspective, right? So we announced that we'll take the RingCentral product, which is our cloud product, and we'll take the machinery, the big machinery of Avaya's global GTM, and we take that to market. And when we talked about delivering this at Gartner, at some Gartner symposium here, we thought, why not take a RingCentral marketing guy and an Avaya CTO, which is the exact opposite, to talk about it. That goes to show how deeply connected we are, right? So this is not, I was only trying to make light of this, but there is a lot of wood behind the arrow here. And to bring it back to how we started this conversation, this session, right? Communication is fundamental to survival, right? And if you look at what Gartner is saying and what people are talking about, especially at this event, which has been a very interesting event for me. I don't know about you guys. What we see is CIOs and C-level executives walking on the show floor with intent, right? They've got budgets, they need to kind of solve a bunch of problems. They're looking at vendors and they're evaluating vendors very seriously, right? So the technology you select today will determine and define your employee and customer experience. And that is one of the key kind of tenets which has come out in many of the Gartner sessions, and that effectively will drive revenue and top line and have top line impact, right? So, and I mentioned this earlier, that CIOs will be as responsible for culture as HR. That's not me saying it, that's Gartner saying this. And that's why coming together, that's what drives that ecosystem. So that's why we are talking about this as the great cloud migration. It's 100 million seats on the Avaya side, and forget just their install base. There's a world at large even outside of them, and Avaya, we feel, has a seat at the table at many of these conversations. We are growing very rapidly where we are talking to customers, and so this was the best outcome, which neither one of the two companies could do by themselves. So we feel that driving this strategic partnership not just helps us, because it has. If you've looked at our stock price in the last several weeks since this announcement has come together, it has helped both Avaya and Ring. But together, it's about us driving value for our customers, and that's what we are doing. So it's not, I'll wrap this up, and we'll be here for questions. But we believe, and I speak for both RingCentral and Avaya here, that it is not just about business, communications. It's about that human connection. Every single customer we've talked to, every single prospect we've talked to, they've talked about specific use cases on how to bring people together. We've talked to people in healthcare, in retail, in financial services, where they have very specific use cases of driving, communication for specific outcomes. And so it's about that human connection. It's not just about meetings. There's if you walk the show floor, there's a dime a dozen vendors out there which are doing just, meetings and video meetings. It's not just about video meetings. It's about, the meetings themselves are very transactional. It's about driving that business outcome. It's about working towards that bigger outcome, right? And that starts way before a meeting. So it's a pre-meeting experience, during meeting experience, post-meeting experience, right? How do you bring all of those things together? Because if you navigate through 5 different apps during the course of your day and the context is getting lost, what's the point? We are recreating the same things which we did 5 years ago. And cloud is supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to bring these things together. It's not just about messaging. It's about sharing and harnessing information. I just sent right before I got on stage here, one of our sales leaders asked me for some metrics. I was able to do this on the fly using our messaging platform and give that information back to him. It's about harnessing information and driving those outcomes, all the things which I talked about. And then it's not just about a contact center, right? Avaya has been in the space for quite some time. They're driving the next generation of it. We are doing our pieces there with all of the digital interactions, bringing all the social channels together. It's about making sure the customers are being heard, and they are not just talking to you on the phone or email or chat. They're talking to all of us using any means available, and we need to meet them where they are. And so, look, this has been our mission from a RingCentral perspective. This is our mission, Avaya and RingCentral coming together, where we want to make communication simple and effortless for everyone. And that's our core charter. That's what we strive towards. That's what we work towards. So visit us in our booths. Ahmed and I will be here. We've got some Avaya folks here, and we've got some Ring folks here. So come talk to us if you have any questions. But I hope you had a good session. So thanks.